Let's check on the currencies right now here in Asia and take a look at some of how these currencies are trading at the moment. You've got dollar against, or the new Taiwan dollar here, pretty flat against the U.S. currency. Big mover today is the Indian rupee, showing a little bit of weakness, or some weakness, I should say, against the U.S. currency. Otherwise, most of the other Asian currencies outside of the Japanese yen is rather flat here. Year to date, we do have most of these Asian currencies strengthening against the U.S. dollar, with the exception of the new Taiwan dollar. Since the beginning of the year, of course, specifically the won, the rupee, and the ringgit have all outperformed, even amid a sharp rebound in the U.S. currency. Our next guest believes there's still a lot of room, positive drivers for the region's currencies. She thinks that policy tightening in China is not a negative event for Asian currencies. Johanna Chua is Asia Pacific Chief Economist at Citi. She joins us now live from Hong Kong. Johanna, thanks for joining us today. Why do you think the China tightening policy story is still positive for Asian currencies?
Well, first of all, there's three reasons. I mean, first of all, China tightening is really just trying to balance out the very rapid liquidity growth. We don't expect China is going to be tightening very, very aggressively, and therefore we don't expect that that's going to really undermine the overall growth prospects in the region, which still has been certainly stronger than expected in most cases.
Okay, but then, Johanna, let's deal then with the Chinese currency first of all. Would you expect then that the RMB is going to resume its trend of appreciation this year? And if so, when might that begin? Okay, I understand you've dropped your earpiece, Johanna, so let me ask you this question again. Given what you've just said, and we talked specifically about the renminbi in China, when might you think that resume its appreciation trend, and when will that exactly happen?
Well, precisely because China is increasingly concerned about inflation, that actually I think argues for earlier rather than later renminbi appreciation. And we actually expect renminbi appreciation could happen as early as March, which again will have a positive spillover effect for the rest of the Asian currencies.
Which currencies in particular will be mostly affected by this appreciation resuming?
Well, certainly I think the more open economies of Asia, the more, more sensitive countries to competitiveness versus the renminbi are probably going to benefit more. So you've got countries like the Korean won, the Taiwan dollar, even the Malaysian ringgit. But overall, our top picks for the region is still the Korean won, the INR, and even the IDR because of the carry.
In Southeast Asia, then, you talked about the Malaysian ringgit, or we've seen that as one of the outperformers so far this year. Do you look at other countries around Southeast Asia and see opportunity there as well?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, to a certain extent, the Malaysian ringgit performance has been a bit of a catch-up. Because last year when we had a bit of a rally in Asian currencies, it had actually been lagging. So we're starting to see a bit of a catch-up there. But outside of ringgit, I mean, certainly we think, IDR, which also, is the most highest carry currency in the region, should benefit while the Fed still remains on hold. So we're also still fairly positive there and expect the IDR could eventually, with all the sort of risk aversion subsides, eventually could retrace back to as much as 9,000 level. Okay,
yeah, we're at 9,375. Can I ask you about the Singapore dollar really quickly? Do you have a view on that?
Well, clearly, obviously, the dollar is getting a little bit of a beneficiary, is benefiting a little bit from the risk aversion flows on the back of jitters on China. But our view and our house view continues to be that this is a short-term reaction, partly exacerbated by positioning, and we still expect the dollar will continue its weakening trend in the next couple of months.
Sorry, just to clarify, you're referring to the Singapore dollar there to be weakening, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was talking about the U.S. dollar. For the Singapore dollar, we do expect at the moment that the MAS is going to let the Sing dollar near band, is going to shift the slope of the Sing dollar near band as part of its monetary tightening. But that's not going to happen until around April.
Okay, Johanna, thank you.
My earlier comment was about dollar.
About the U.S. dollar. All right, thank you for clarifying there, Johanna. And thanks for coming on today. Johanna Chua from Citi joining us live from Hong Kong.